Well, me and the Swamp Ranger 2, aka L6 with a Arctic Tern stole wing on it, is on the one of the few bars that's on the big river here, and river's still so full. It's probably going to be the only bar that we can get on. But anyhow, I just got this airplane probably 2 weeks ago. Flew it back from Illinois, 800-mile flight, and I've been just kind of getting it fixed up, modded. I got my 29s on it, got my brake boosters that had to have that, and other little things, odds and ends that I'm doing it. But it's going to have way more airframe performance than what the well, really either one of my other two planes had, because I've got more wing area. It's got about 30 square foot more wing area than the Ranger's got, and probably 20 square foot more than what the Monster had. But anyhow, I'm gonna be piddling with it along and along. It's got the 0320 Lycoming, and it's just got a lot of performance. It's a lot more performance engine wise and airframe wise than either one of the other. But I want to dedicate this video to a good buddy of mine, Danny Bonds, one of my aerobatic buddies. We go way, way back, and Danny Bond is, he's a man among men. He's a good Christian brother, and Danny is also probably one of the highest character individuals that I've ever known. Danny has rebuilt one airplane completely from the ground up. Matter of fact, the Swamp Monster, the original Swamp Monster, Danny Bond's the one that did the rebuild on that. And he, not just my airplane, but many others. Danny has rebuilt so many pits that everybody's lost count, and he is a craftsman extraordinaire. But I'm dedicating this to my buddy Danny because the Lord seen fit, I don't know, a few years back to start slowing Danny down, and he got a diagnosis, I don't know how long back, it's been a year, 2 years back, that he's got a debilitating disease. It's going to take his mobility, and hopefully it will give him many more years with his beautiful family. He's got 2 daughters and a wonderful wife. And Lori and girls, if y'all get to see this, I just want to say hi. But to my buddy Danny, I want to tell you I love you, buddy. I'd give anything that you didn't have to go through this. That nobody plans on this, but that's the lot. And I'll tell you this, the Lord don't put things on us, and certain people, they don't put it on them because he knows they can't bear it. And the Lord wouldn't be giving you this to deal with and go through if he didn't know you could bear it and glory him through it and glorify his name through it, Danny. So I just want to tell you that I love you, buddy, and I'll be thinking about you every time I fly. I have been for many, many years, but I love you. This is the L6. It's a 43, was redone a good while back. Stitz polyfiber, that's the cockpit. The only thing about it I have had issues dealing with is how to get my old sorry behind in and out of that thing. It don't have a sliding seat, all it's got is a reclining seat back, but I'll get used to it. But anyhow, Stitz polyfiber, it's in excellent shape, and we got 50 degrees of flap, Fowler flap, partial Fowler flap, but boy, they work good. I can come down and approach comfortably at about 38 miles an hour right now. As I get better at it and I get more used to the airframe, I'm sure that it'll get better, but those nav lights will be one of the first things I'm gonna knock off. And like I say, I've got my 29s on, and one of the most unusual things about this airplane, it doesn't have individual shocks. If you'll notice up under there, both of them are connected to one shock that's got oil with a coil spring dampener that's right up under the pilot seat. And so when one wheel goes up, the other wheel goes up regardless, but you don't notice it. It's got good shock absorption, and very little rebound. But it also required, this is certified, but it also required them to offset the stick a little to the left side of the fuselage floorboard, and then curve the stick up. Another one of those things you just don't notice whenever you're flying it. And we've got like I said, an 0320 Lycoming with a Sensenich 7452 metal prop. One of the first things I'm gonna change out. I'm gonna get me a 3-blade adjustable, and that'll allow me to jump on the RPM a little quicker. The prop now statics at about 2,500 RPM and cruises about 100 at 2350, which is a good all-around prop, but not the best prop for just doing serious backcountry flying. And one of the neatest things about this little airplane that they made, but because it is military, they made it easily. They got access points all over. You got this one that's right here behind the right here, that would put you right behind the instrument panel, as well as the brakes if you want to get to the rudder pedals. Then you've got as well as the side that lifts up on both sides to get you access to both sides of the engine. You've got down here at the bottom, you got Zoox quarter turns, and that panel there drops off with those 8. And then actually right under that, you've got another 8 Zoox quarter turns that drops the belly right there completely open, which again is really neat for trying to pull maintenance in just no time flat. You can be in the belly of the beast. Doesn't have a vacuum system, so, and that's not hooked to anything, that old Venturi, so I don't know who at what point in time they did that. This again is a 43 model, but it's, like I said, it's working out real well. I'm very pleased with it, and you can see what it looks like here. Got plenty of tail and got counterbalance on the tail. I don't know the dimensions on a Super Cub, but I believe this would get close to matching the tail feather surface area, the square footage of a Super Cub. I've already put my gap seals on the elevator and also the rudder, but that's working real good. That's one of the few things you can do to an airplane. I learned this back in the aerobatic days. You can actually, if you've got time in an airplane, you can actually put those gap seals on. It's a cheap performance enhancer, and it's kind of like VGs. You will notice it right off the bat, and it will be something that you'll notice. You'll get much more sensitivity on the pitch and the yaw, which is something you don't notice until you do that. But it's got a Scott 3200 with an 8-inch tail wheel. Planning to change that out. And I've already got, finally the other day, I got my VGs on, and I may be at some point in time, I don't know if you can't, well, you may see the VGs over on the other side. I may, at some point, may put my slats on it. I just don't know yet. But that's the L6, AKA Swamp Monster 2. The only bird that I've been able to find on the Big River to land on. And this time, all the bars are washing rough as a cob. So you got to be mindful where you touch down. This is just up from Dead River on what would be the Big River. Rivers are too high for any serious playing, and you really need to get used to a new mount and its flying characteristics. You start finding the cutover timber with the logging roads, and if nothing else, you get the feel for the approach, and then maintaining your directional control. And then once you're on the ground, these little roads like this, you really have to work on being able to turn the plane around without getting the tail in anything. You've got narrow spots to work with, and this little L6 is much lighter on the tail than what I'm used to, so it'd be easy to put the prop in the dirt. So you just got to be careful and learn where the limits are.